All right, hello and welcome to another edition of Gears Overdrive. My name is Keith Clark. I am the technical director for ATRA, and we're here again talking about a Gears article, this time with Drake Ohe. Drake, say hello to everybody here.
Good morning. It's my first attempt at a video for Gears. I'm very happy to be here with Keith Clark, and today we're going to have some discussion over my first article.
All right, well, yeah, we're going to talk about Drake's first article here, found in the April edition of Gears. If you don't have Gears, the magazine itself, you can get it online. Go to gearsonline.com and you can check it out there. You're going to be talking about Hold Your Horses Stuck in Your Tracks. Tackling electronic parking brake problems. Parking brake problems. How does that come into play with transmissions?
Well, on these newer vehicles, all systems are being integrated, and you're going to be getting cars in, that may have electrical problems or transmission problems, and it gets dumped off in your parking lot, and you can't move it. So, in order for us to be able to deal with these cars, we need to understand how these systems work and how they're integrated in with the rest of the vehicle. So this article covers the basics of how the systems work and certain things that you can do to work with these systems when they are interfering with you doing your job of fixing their transmission.
Okay, parking brake. Back in the day, of course, I grew up in upstate New York, so I remember the old school cable type parking brakes, and of course, things would rust in upstate New York, of course, and the parking brake. You don't want to push that down if it was an old vehicle and it hasn't been used. Now we're talking about an electronic device. What's different with this? How does this actually work?
Well, these are part of the integrated systems, and so when the vehicle detects that it's in park or motionless and you turn the key off, it electronically applies the caliper. Now, some vehicles will use a separate caliper specifically for parking brake. Others, they have an electric motor built into the back of the rear caliper. Now, we're all familiar with the old Cadillacs that had the cable disc brake calipers that would rotate and push the pistons in. They're using an electric motor now on the caliper itself to apply the brake and hold it. Now, this is especially important on vehicles with dual clutch transmissions that may not actually have a park. So they use the parking brake as their park and hold fixture.
Wow, so you're saying some transmissions don't have like a parking pole inside and they just use the parking brakes, like the rear brakes, these dedicated brakes to hold the vehicle?
Yeah, a lot of dual clutches. Now, I have worked on some exotic cars that have had that is solely their park mechanism, is the electronic parking brake.
Wow, okay, well, that's amazing. Now, is there like a fail-safe mode for these if things go kind of crazy, or?
Yeah, they will default to the park position or the lock position.
Okay.
So as with anything, when you're trying to diagnose these, first thing is to get your scan tool out and look for any codes that could lead you to what's going on with the system and why it's failing to release.
Okay, so this goes back to our scan diagnosis where we want to scan all modules for all codes all the time.
Correct.
And it sounds extremely important, even in a situation where we can't get the vehicle out of park.
Correct.
And we're looking for possible codes that might be associated with what's going on here. Wow. In your article, you mentioned the Jeep Cherokee design. Now, tell us a little bit more about the Jeep Cherokee design. How does that operate, and how can we go through diagnostics on that?
As I mentioned earlier, the Jeep uses an electric system that has an electric motor and gears to wind in the rear caliper to hold the brakes. And so on the EBP, the electronic parking brake system, the Jeeps are nice because they do actually have an interface on the console on your touchscreen that if you follow the procedure, you can go in through that interface and access the electronic parking brake and put it in what's called service mode. Now, the service mode is designed primarily for technicians to work on the vehicle and be able to move it or repair the brakes. But if we have a problem with the vehicle, say the rain sensor is not showing park, or it is showing park all of the time, so it thinks it needs to be on. So this is a mechanism that you can use on the Jeep to override that and be able to access the vehicle for repairs.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. So it's like a built-in diagnostic tool right in the dashboard, basically.
Correct. Yeah, diagnostics and for service work.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, that's all well and good. When things are okay, it sounds like we got nirvana there as far as being able to get to the things that we need to get to. Now, what happens if the vehicle comes in, of course, with a dead battery?
Battery.
Now what are we doing here?
Well, obviously you want to, test the condition of the battery. Try using a jumper to, power up the systems and see if you can get it to work then. There are several different options. Also, there are electronic parking brake type scan tools that you can connect to different vehicles that are specifically designed to access EBP systems. And as a last resort, which is mentioned in the article, you can go directly to the caliper and energize the brake calipers to release them.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so you can actually directly energize some of these systems right at the caliper to release the piston.
That is correct, but you got to understand these work a lot like the motors on these work a lot like the encoder motors on transfer cases.
Oh, okay.
The polarity is bidirectional polarity for apply and release, and as just as an explanation of the system and how it works. As the motor applies the parking brake, as the brake applies, the amperage is going to increase due to resistance on the engine. So the EBP module monitors that amperage. And as soon as it hits a certain point, that's when it knows when to stop, that the parking brake is fully applied.
Wow.
So in order to apply or release the caliper manually, you have to apply the polarity in the correct way. So you need to get out your schematic and understand the connector and the polarities, which way they go. Now, when performing this on these type of calipers, you have to be very careful. If you're unwinding the caliper to release it manually at the caliper, only release it enough to get the vehicle to move, because if you continue to apply current to that and it extends and releases too far, it can cause damage to the gears and the function of the caliper, and you'll have to end up replacing the caliper.
Wow. Okay, that was going to be a question. It's like, okay, can we damage this component by putting power directly to it? And the answer is
absolutely yes.
So we got to be smart about what we're doing then.
Correct.
Careful.
And when doing this, you have to do each caliper individually when you're doing it in this particular fashion.
Okay. And this is and we're focusing in, of course, on the Jeep Cherokee system. And there's probably going to be different varieties for different manufacturers. And you saying that these systems are very common in a lot of in vehicles moving forward.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And the manufacturers did this, it's convenience. Most of these will apply automatically. Others, you have a button either on the dash or your center console that says parking brake, and that's for your manual apply and release. A lot of these systems, they will apply, but as soon as you start the vehicle, have your seatbelt on, the door's closed, hold your tongue correct, and put it in gear, then it will automatically release the system. So that's when everything is functioning properly.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot going on here that we definitely do need to understand as far as, when we're working on these transmissions, especially if a vehicle is dropped off over the weekend in front of our gate and we can't get in until we move that vehicle.
Correct.
So scan tool in hand. And if we have one of these, or if we have a specialty tool to get into the system, power up the battery, we got to make sure that we're able to do everything we can, at least through the operating system of the vehicle. And then if all else fails, we can go directly to the brakes themselves.
To the brake system, correct. Yeah.
Wow.
As we talk about all the time in our seminars and videos and all of that, battery health, condition, connections is always the first place to start. Always. When we're dealing with electronic issues, it doesn't take long to do a quick battery test, check your connections, make sure everything's there properly, and we have enough current. You can't just say, well, I've got 12 volts. Well, 12 volts doesn't always mean you've got enough current or power to make these systems function. So when diagnosing these systems, same with everything else on a car, start with your battery, because that's where everything starts.
There you go. Hey, I think you covered everything from ship to stern on these new electronic parking brakes. And thanks a lot for letting us know about these, because again, stuff like this, we'd be looking for a manual release cable, and we no longer have one. Man, and that's what it is all about as far as Gears is concerned. Gears Magazine, we have articles telling you about things not only inside the transmission, but things outside of the box that are going to affect the job that you have to do as a transmission technician. And we really thank Drake for being with us today. Again, very useful article, and thank you for your expertise in this area, Drake.
You're quite welcome, Keith.
And boy, I think that's going to end our time here for Gears Overdrive today. And again, stay tuned for many other editions of our Gears Overdrive, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest technology that helps you to get transmissions in and out of your shop efficiently and effectively. And remember, it's a great day to fix transmissions, so let's get started.